Today I will teach you how you can make unique chord progressions. First tip is steal. I kind of just stole this melody from a song, and I wouldn't encourage you guys to completely steal the chord progression, but it's also not illegal. I did make this from it. You guys might be asking how you made this, but it's actually really simple. I kind of just deleted this part, put these up like 7 notes, and just pitch these around. You can actually see it. It doesn't sound the greatest, but you can also pitch whole chords. It might sound good. I like to pitch them around too. It doesn't really work in this chord progression. You just want to shift these notes around until it sounds good and interesting. Tip number 2, it's an interesting tip. I have this chord progression here. We don't need this last part. And here's the chords. You know, the first chord does sound weird, but that's because we go from this to, this. It's one note down, which does sound weird, but it does make the chords interesting. We can get this back here. I just use the root note to build these chords. And you can see I have a lot of notes that have 4 notes in between them. Now that is what's called a sus chord. Now we are not talking about Among Us, but the sus chord is very cool actually. It has 4 notes between them each one, and you can use these chords by themselves and they do sound very interesting. But you could also change the root note. I just added some notes below it, and it does give a lot of different vibes. That's sus chords. They are pretty good, and also sus. And now one thing I wanted to mention. What is this? Now this is how a normal pianist would actually play the songs. They aren't perfect. Oh, I forgot to mention you can also use your keyboard to come up with chords. It's actually pretty simple. You just press random notes and it might sound good. Oh my god, that's actually beautiful. It's definitely worth the time to offset these notes by a little bit. Tip 3, you might not see it at first, but what are these notes doing up here? They are actually helping to transition the chords into the next one. It just helps fill out the empty space between chords. Now I do have another example here. They are very simple melodies, but you don't have to make these very complex. The melody, I think it should be a different instrument. Let's move on to tip number 4. It's arpeggios. It just goes up. This is probably not the most unique thing actually, but it's definitely something. I actually just made this with this, and you know what I did? I just slide this here. It does kind of stop awkwardly, so I just put another note on top. It's not that crazy hard, and we can actually make one right now. So we move this over. I just realized that it's literally the same note. You should probably do it with less notes. You just have to pitch it up. Another tip is, if you have ideas, you shouldn't stop them. You should just continue, because right now I did this and it sounds so good. I don't know if this is like the best use of an arpeggio, but it's also good when you realize that a sound does not work. You can just fix it. While I'm doing this chord progression, I'm just gonna show you another tip. I just came up with this. Very interesting. It was only this, but if you put a note on top, you kind of get an idea of what chord it should be, what type of notes there should be in it. Maybe not that, but we could pitch it up and that might sound interesting. Okay, that chord does not fit there, but I'm definitely going to save that for later. You know what you could actually do? Chords out of melodies. These are kind of chords, Now what I did is harmonize the melody. As you can see, I kind of put notes together and it does sound cool. It creates harmony. Harmony is just chords. I can actually show you guys real quick. I'm gonna create a bit of a melody. There's our basic simple melody. First I want to add bass, because that does give you kind of an idea of what chords there should be. You know, it's interesting, but the more you make, the higher chance that you will actually make good chords out of this. I do like this chord at the end, so I will also put this to the side. Anyways, because you watched to the end, I will give you the final tip. It's the most important one. Are you ready for this? Don't use chords, because sometimes it's enough just to have 3 melodies. I do want to show an example. You can use only one chord and you don't need a chord progression and it still sounds good. Here it is. It's not quite one chord, it's 2. They are almost the same. This is how it sounds. Put this up, here's the whole beat. Only one chord is enough. It works. So you can just steal chords and then, you know, change them to fit your own style. Use sus chords. They are pretty cool. Use this trick. You just go down one. I wonder if it works here. Use melodies and make chords out of them. Use arpeggios and also make chords out of them. Save chords for later use. Watch this video next where I make a beat with using only stock sounds, and this shows you don't need good sounds to make good songs.